You ready, Siege?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this one last time for the year. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! It is of course now 2023.
Wow, the future.
Welcome everyone. We've been here for a while, obviously, but you're all now joining us here in 2023.
Because as we all know, today is the 4th of January 4th of 2023.
Yes, exactly. We made it through 2022. Obviously, the worst year ever.
They just keep getting worse and worse.
They sure do. We didn't get like that Netflix special this year.
Yeah, I Googled that the other day. Lauren texted me about it. Was like, "Hey, am I doing this thing again?" It's like, I don't think they're coming out with one.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Last year's was still good, even though it wasn't like, as pandemic-y or anything, but
yeah,
I don't know.
They were funny, but it was, I think it did make for sometimes difficult conversation because it was just like, oh yeah, remember that awful thing that also happened?
Yeah, it was definitely uncomfortable. Do you remember what this was called so that people who were listening who may not have heard that
Death
episode?
to 2022.
Thank you.
And Death to 2021 on Netflix.
Or it was Death to 2020 and Death to 2021. They didn't make it Death to 2022.
Yes, you're right. Yes.
Unfortunately.
But
yeah, we're of course going to, even though, 2022 may not have been the best of years, I feel like it was better than the previous two.
Yeah, I think it's hard for the two of us to say it was a bad year when both of us got engaged.
Yeah, I know. I was just joking. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It was a big year for both of us, personally.
Yes. Did you move into your house this year? Was that this year?
No, that was the prior year. Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Prior year. But you moved into your new place this year, right?
Yes. I own property now.
Everyone's becoming like Monopoly,
Yep.
You own a property, I own a property.
I'm working on the railroad station next.
I'm working on the utilities right now.
Smart.
So between the two of us, we got this show covered.
A true monopoly.
It wasn't that bad of a year, so I figured maybe we celebrate it a little bit and talk about maybe some of the better things that we watched this year, both on the show and off.
That's right. So this year, we're going to be doing the top 10 things we watched for the show of our combined score.
Yes.
So what did we, as the hosts of the show, rate the highest?
Yeah, we were looking through it, and there wasn't that much discrepancy between the two of us for a lot of our shows. I think after how many ever years we've been doing this, I think our ratings or determination of quality has kind of synced up a little bit. So,
Yes.
we're just going to do the total rating and go off of that for the top 10 of Overtalking of 2022.
So to kick things off, we have at number 10, A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I never thought this would make a top 10 list, but here
With
we
me at the
are.
helm.
That's right. Episode 277. Guest with Shelby Weaver, and Nightmare on Elm Street. I gave it a 9.
I gave it a 7.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. Total score of 16. That's where we're cutting things off. We should say, I guess, two honorable mentions that also got a score of a 16 are the movie Juice, episode 252 with Olivia Cody, and episode 258 MXC with none other than Justin Peters.
Oh yeah, those two were good too.
Yeah.
God, MXC. Oh, so good.
Yeah. So those are all technically tied for number 10, but the way the Google spreadsheet gave us, it's cutting it off at Nightmare on Elm Street. So
Probably
we're going with that one.
One of us felt stronger about it than the other two.
Yeah.
Which was me. Yeah, and that was the first time you had seen it, right?
Correct. Yeah, my first viewing. Liked it way better than I thought I was going to, and would not be opposed to watching some of the sequels.
Sweet. All right. Well, we'll look forward to that in 2023 later this year, hopefully.
Yeah, maybe.
It'd be fun if we picked like one franchise.
Ooh,
for
to just do
October.
all of October.
Maybe. I feel like that's been done by Gorley and Rust and other podcasts, but I don't know. Just an idea.
Do you listen to Gorley and Rust?
I do, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's great.
You and my brother should talk about that, and Chris, maybe.
We do.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a good podcast. I guess if we're throwing out recommendations today, whatever with Gorley and Rust. They've had a couple different names, but what is it right now? It's
No idea.
Something We Trust with Gorley and Rust. I don't know. It started out with in
Voorhees?
Voorhees We Trust. Yeah. So it started out with the Friday the 13th franchise, and they went through every single movie one by one, and in between talked about it, and that was fun. And then, yeah, they've done every major horror franchise, and they're kind of just going through various genre movies at this point because they've kind of exhausted all the major franchises. But it's still good. Go check it out.
Yeah, two very, very funny people.
Definitely. All right, should we move on to number 9?
Number 9, we have Netflix's The Sandman, episode 268. I gave it an 8.2.
And I gave it an 8.2.
Wow.
See?
We agree on
weren't
things.
Lying. Yeah, I did not continue the series. I will say that up front. So maybe CJ,
really?
you might have some more insight into this. I think I watched like 1 or 2 more, but I don't know. It didn't stick for me.
Yeah. I think you should stick with it because it ventures into a more of a straight horror genre, I think.
Okay. I did get to the one episode, I think this was early on, but they were in the church and they basically performed an exorcism on some person. I think it was a guy.
Oh,
I don't know. I
yeah,
think they were trying to get married, but then they didn't get married. I don't remember exactly. Anyway.
It gets spookier.
Okay. I figured when Patton Oswalt came into it, I thought it might get too jokey, so I didn't know.
Oh, no. He is somewhat the comic relief, but not too much. It's still serious.
Would you say did you finish it or no?
No, I didn't watch the last 2 episodes just because they are sort of completely unrelated. It goes into like an animated show. They did the same thing with the graphic novel where it's just kind of like I don't even know what to call it, just like an add-on about a cat. And I was like, I read the graphic novel. I don't need to watch these last 2.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You have a bad habit of not watching the last 2 episodes of shows. Before the podcast, we were talking about the show Dark, also on Netflix, which is a very complicated show, and you gave up on it 2 episodes before the end of it.
It gets, no pun intended, very dark, and it's hard to watch, and it's not in English, so it requires your full attention to read the subtitles. And it was, I can usually handle like gore and violence, but just some of the scenes were brutal. You watch this kid's father basically like fight off a guy and get stabbed to death in front of the kid. And I was just like, Jesus, this is tough.
I don't even remember that. Yeah. It gets dark, and it's also extremely complicated, but that's one of my favorite shows of all time, to be honest.
Yeah.
So if you have the patience, and maybe watch it dubbed so you don't need to read the subtitles, because you need to be paying attention even to like the story and what's on the screen. It's a lot going on.
Yeah,
but very
it's
cool.
a time travel show, so it's difficult to keep track of all the characters, and they keep expanding the different timelines.
There's very complicated family trees, and I don't know.
It's very good. I loved it, but it's just hard. Maybe I'll finish that this week or something. I'll have to really dedicate some.
How would you do that
span.
at this point? You'd have to rewatch something, right?
Yeah.
All right.
They have that website. You can go look up the family tree based on what episode you're at.
True. All right. Well, I think we can move on then to number 8 for 2022, which was Spider-Man: No Way Home. I gave that a 9.
I gave that an 8. I don't know why.
You feel like
I remember really liking
it higher? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't know. Cool. Episode 241 with none other than Meg.
Yes. I remember watching that one in the theaters, which was fun. That one came out pretty early in the year, so we watched that early February of this year or last year.
I've quoted it on the show, but possibly one of my favorite movie theater going experiences in recent memory when Tobey Maguire comes on screen and a woman in the back of the theater yelled, "Toby!" And then a couple seconds later went, "Oh, Toby, you're so old." Or like, "When did you get so old?" Or something like that. Made me chuckle. Really loved that part.
Is true.
Yeah.
Also, spoiler alert, but oh well.
That's what happens to people. They grow old.
Yeah, they sure do. And, with all this 4K mumbo jumbo, you see every wrinkle, every pore.
That's right.
Especially on the big screen.
Ken, have you been keeping up with any more Marvel stuff?
Oh, that's not where I thought you were going with that question. For some reason, I thought you were asking, are you keeping up with any skincare regimens?
You can answer that too.
I'd
be curious to know.
Not really. The Marvel stuff, yeah. I mean, with the TV shows we've been watching for the show, really, that's about it. I watched the Christmas special for Guardians of the Galaxy, which was I thought it was fine, but
it was fine.
not
Yeah,
that good.
that's a good word to use. It was that's fine.
I'm glad it wasn't longer.
Yeah,
But I missed the Thor, God of Love and Thunder, or whatever. I'm sure I'll get back to that, but I also heard that was meh. Did you like that one?
I definitely enjoyed Ragnarok way more. I think
Yeah,
I thought
that's
that
what I
one was another one that it was fine.
Other than that, I mean, I don't know. I skipped the Black Widow one, and I watched that. I think that feels pretty optional. But yeah, I guess I've been keeping up with it. I mean, probably way more than most people. There's too much content these days.
Black Widow has David Harbour. If you want more of him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, speaking of David Harbour, he is not the next one, but he is in 2 of our top 10 ones. So that's a bit of a teaser for later on. But coming in at number 7, we have Extraordinary. I only gave this one a 7.5, but CJ.
I gave it a 10.
Whoa. Yeah.
Episode 242 with my future wife, Emily.
That was the very next episode from Spider-Man No Way Home. Interesting.
That's right. Yeah. That was date movie month, February.
Yeah, you love that movie.
It's so good. That was the second time I watched, or we watched it, Emily and I, and it's fantastic. I've now seen, oh man, I'm blanking. That guy, one of the characters, Martin, that plays one of my favorite character names in all of cinema, named Martin. Actor popped up in another show we were watching, Bad Sisters, I believe. Yeah, it's like, oh, that's Martin.
Now,
Martin.
CJ, I'm gonna be honest. I need a refresher of what this movie was.
So this, if you recall, we actually had a pretty special guest other than Emily on. That's when we had Beelzebub came on the show for a little bit.
Okay. I remember now.
Do you remember now? Will Forte,
yes.
Claudio O'Doherty,
Yes.
Maeve Higgins. Yeah. Stellar cast all around. If you
Nice.
haven't watched this, please go watch it. It's so funny and just different and very, very good.
Yeah, it was fine.
7.5 is more than fine.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Are you happy with that one?
Yeah, it's better than fine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm sure this is one of the lesser known ones on our list for the top 10. So yeah, if you're looking for something off the beaten path, this one's coming highly recommended.
Yeah. Primarily like an Irish movie. I don't think it came out in the U.S. really.
Was that the one with the like jars of ectoplasm?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yes, it was.
I remember that.
Another teaser. If that piqued your interest. Jars of ectoplasm.
You like jars of goo. That's the movie for you.
Nice. Coming in at number 6, we have the show The Rehearsal, episode 273 with Jim Plackey. I gave that one a 9.
And I gave that one a very close 8.5. And definitely listen to that podcast if you have seen the show or plan on watching the show. Watch the show and listen to that podcast because our guest, Jim Plackey, had a lot of very interesting ideas about some of the meaning and subtext around that show. That I don't think either of us had thought of while watching it, but definitely made it a lot more interesting to me.
And as we say on the episode, that's a show where you have to watch all of the episodes. You won't get a good sense of what the show is until you finish it, which is very doable.
Yeah, for sure. And either way, even if you don't care about subtext or whatever, I just thought it was a very funny, smart show.
Agreed.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to give too much away for those who haven't seen it. But it's very elaborate rehearsing and planning of life events before they happen with big budget sets, basically.
Yes, very clever and funny and weird.
Definitely weird. I'm glad that made the top 10 because that was definitely one of the more interesting things we watched this year for sure.
Totally.
Coming in at number 5, we have a movie we just watched on the podcast only a couple weeks ago, episode 286. It is, of course, Violent Night with guest Cameron. We all watched this in theater together. I give it a 9.
Yeah, this is one where I gave it an 8.8, but I feel like I should just give it a 9. I really liked it. Yeah. I don't know why I held off on the 0.2.
Well, if you were to revise the number, it would still be in the same ranking. So if you want to go ahead and do that, I think
I'm doing it now.
Okay with me. Okay.
Done.
So later on, we're going to talk about maybe just some of the best things we've watched outside of the show. But if we hadn't included the ones that we talked about on the show, this might have been on my personal list because I was going through my Letterboxd for what I rated things throughout the year. And this was one of the top ones because I don't give out 10s anymore, apparently. So, this it was a lot of fun, a lot of really awesome kills and great, I don't know, just unique kills, really. That was the big thing for me. That was the kills. But it was a fun and funny and heartwarming story.
Yeah, a little heartwarming if you look past all of the gruesome violence.
Yeah, if your heart's getting stabbed with something hot, then it's heartwarming.
Like a candy cane.
Yeah.
That's been turned into a shiv. Yeah, I can't stop talking about this. Anytime it's like either brought up or stuff, I always preface it with like, if you can't do gore or violence, this is not the movie for you. But if you can, I highly, highly recommend it because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's not like horror either, I don't think.
No.
I think it's just like very actiony with, there you see some gore, but like nothing too bad really. It's just, people die and things get stabbed. I don't know. Or broken in half. Yeah, I love it.
I'm glad we did that. That was a very fun day to be able to go to the theaters together and record in person.
Yeah, that was a really fun day. Well, I think we must just be on some sort of generous streak because coming in at number 4 is the very next episode, which was the previous episode to this, which was episode 287, Die Hard with Nick.
That's right.
I gave that a 9.
And I also gave it a 9.
We have just been watching good shit lately. So
finally.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if we need to say anything more about Die Hard, but everyone knows Die Hard. It's a classic. It's really good.
You
probably shouldn't be that surprising that it's on here. It holds up very well.
I think I was a little surprised because anytime you're watching slightly older movies, you're waiting for some dialogue to be like, oh no, are they gonna like use a term that isn't good or say something that's bad? And this one, I think they avoided that. I don't remember anything that was that problematic.
I don't think there was anything.
Yeah,
I can't think of anything.
So yeah, still holds up.
Considering there are a bunch of different like ethnicities and nationalities in that show or movie, sorry, nothing happened. No jokes.
It's almost as if you don't have to comment on those things.
Exactly. Yes. Way ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Not really. So yeah, that was number 4.
Coming in at number 3, we have the show Summer Camp Island, episode 269, with some of our favorite people, my brother Eric, and now sister-in-law Carissa.
Ooh.
I gave it a 9.
I also gave it a 9.
This show is great. I've watched like a few episodes past us recording that, and I need to get back into it.
Yeah, I believe Chris was the one who initially suggested this one. I think on the podcast, on some old podcast episode. And I had started watching it, and I've watched, I think several seasons at this point. It's very good, very cute, very short, but very funny, surprisingly, for
Super
a
funny
children's show. So
yeah. And that was also just a super fun episode because, again, we got to watch it together and record in person. And those are always my favorite.
That was fun. Yeah. It's a nice summer day to do that.
Yeah. It's on HBO Max if people want to check it out.
Is it still?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I hope so.
It's not. I remember us talking about it on the show that it was one of the ones that was getting cut. So it's maybe it's on some Hulu premium subscription. So it's probably some weird Hulu add-on shit. Yeah, you have to buy it everywhere else. I don't know.
Bummer.
So I think it's okay to say at this point, if you can't stream it via streaming service, you find some way to obtain it, and don't tell us about it.
Yeah, do some clever Googling. I'm sure you can find it somewhere.
Yeah, we're all smart people here. All right. Well, something you definitely can stream is coming in at number 2. This is Netflix's Stranger Things. I'm pretty sure this is the most recent season. Was it season 4 or 5? I can't remember which one.
Season 4, I think. But yeah.
4? Okay. Yeah, episode 262, we talked about season 4 of Stranger Things. I gave that a 9.
And I also gave it a 9.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a good show. Have you heard of it? Stranger Things?
Yeah, have you heard of it? That was another one where we had a pretty fun guest on. We had none other than the Mind Flayer.
Right, yeah.
Super cool of them to stop by the show and spend some time with us.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they came on for season 4, but I don't think they were in season 4.
Nah, that's why he's got free time to stop by the show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not much more to say there. All right. You want to do number 1, Siege?
Coming in at number 1 is none other than Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, episode 255. I gave it a 10.
And I gave it a 9.5, which is pretty close. Thank you. Yeah, that warranted that for sure.
Yeah.
This is a really excellent movie. It has everything in it you could ever want. So the title is appropriate.
This is, I think, my favorite thing that I've watched this year. I distinctly remember leaving the theater and turning to Emily and being like, I can't remember the last time I've enjoyed a movie that much.
Yeah, I remember leaving the theater with Meg and turning to her and then being like, that was one of the best things I've seen in a long time. And I remember her saying, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
So, like, shit.
Yep, I do remember that.
But that doesn't matter because we're right. So
yeah,
it's a good movie.
Yeah, she gave it a 4.
God, I don't know. I don't remember why she talks about it on the show, but it was very funny. It had a ton of cool action fight scenes. It was visually very appealing. A lot of cool colors and stuff. So yeah, it sounds like I watched this high or something, but that's not the case.
If you're the type of person that is like interested in special effects and that sort of thing, you can find clips on YouTube of them talking about how they did it. And it is astonishing that it was, I think, 2 or 4 people did like all of the special effects of that movie, which is super impressive. And if you remember the scenes of Michelle Yeoh like moving quickly through time, kind of, or like it felt like she's running super fast through like a city street. That was because that was literally somebody filming them just walking around a city. And then they put her in front of a green screen and then have that footage behind her, but just sped up and then added some lights in front of her. It's very cool how like practical all of that was.
That's awesome.
Just
look that up.
An all-around fantastic movie written and directed by the Daniels aka Dan Kwan and Daniel Scheinert, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
We all know them, or should now. So yeah.
Yeah, you should. Go watch Swiss Army Man. That was also them.
Oh yeah, shit. That's on my list still. Nice.
Oh man, that movie rules.
Well, we have one more thing we need to talk about here that is maybe more of an honorable mention, because something did actually technically come in above that in our scores, and of course that would be episode 246 in early March of last year was Abbott Elementary, because I gave that a full 10. Oh, we're not getting a sound effect for that one. I wonder why.
Yeah, why is that, Ken?
Because I definitely watched that. I definitely didn't get mixed up and watched something else and pretended that whole episode that I had seen the thing we were talking about.
Yeah, the reason it is above that is because the spreadsheet has freaked out because you have put a 10 with an asterisk next to it. So the calculation doesn't know what to do.
I'm sure if I were to give, a more valid, quote unquote, valid rating, it still would have been the top 10 because you gave it an 8. So,
correct. And that is a show that I have finished watching, and it is good. Me too.
Yes. Oh, so good.
So you still haven't watched it, huh?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, it's on HBO Max for those people that do actually want to watch the show.
Is it still?
Yes.
Uh-oh. Okay. Yeah, I knew that because I've watched them all there. I'm still watching
that's them. Right, yeah.
I'm watching it right now.
Ken, we're recording. Why are you watching?
Oh, sorry. I'll pause it for now. I'll get back to it later.
But there you have it, folks.
But yeah, that concludes our top 10 for 2022.
And sort of going in the other direction, I thought we'd also just shout out the lowest rated thing that we watched this past year, which is, of course, Phantom of the Opera.
Need we say more? We've all seen it. It's not good.
Yeah.
So
it's not good. It got a 5 total. I gave it a 3 and you gave it a 2 with Shelby Weaver. Really at the end of the spectrum, making the top 10, but also the worst thing that we watched.
Yeah. It's that was a rough one to watch. I remember Meg loving watching it and me barely tolerating it being on the screen. So
yeah, that was episode 272. If you want to listen to Ken and I complain about how bad it was, that we literally could not understand what people were saying.
Regardless, that's a fun episode to listen to just because our guest Shelby Weaver loves it. So, those are always the best when we hate something that our guest loves.
We greatly disagree.
That's why Olivia wasn't on any episodes this year. So,
yes, she was.
Yikes. Was she?
Yes. She made the honorable mention top 10. She was for Juice, episode 252.
That's right. Okay. So you picked something very good this time. Okay. All right.
That's right.
I think she maybe thought about that a bit more. For a long time, she would pick things that we would notoriously shit on. So I'm glad she doesn't hold that too much against us.
She's at least brave enough to come back on.
Yeah. Well, that concludes our top 10 and low 1 for 2022. CG, you want to talk about maybe your favorite things in TV shows and movies that you watched outside of the show?
Sure do, Ken. Thanks for asking. Like I said, Everything Everywhere All at Once, I think is my favorite thing I watched this year. But if I'm excluding that, then probably my next favorite movie would be Weird: The Al Yankovic Story, starring Daniel Radcliffe. It's on the Roku channel for free. You can watch it even if you don't own a Roku device. You just download the app. You can Chromecast it, do whatever. It's so funny and so chaotic and weird and great. It's really, really good.
Nice. So Daniel Radcliffe does a good impression?
So that's the thing. It's sort of a spoof of a movie also, similar to how he spoofs songs. For instance, when you see Daniel Radcliffe as young Weird Al discovering the lyrics to what would become My Bologna, his spoof on My Sharona. When he starts to sing, it changes to Weird Al's voice. So it's then Daniel Radcliffe mouthing along to the lyrics, but you hear Weird Al singing the song. It's very funny.
Huh. That's probably for the best, right?
Yeah, it's so good. I might watch that one again because it was really enjoyable. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, though, I don't know what to call this because it's like kind of it's probably more of a TV special, but it's on Netflix. It was Murderville's Christmas special.
I watched that too. That was so funny.
God, I was like crying laughing at parts of that show. Stars Will Arnett, Jason Bateman, Maya Rudolph, and then I don't want to give away the other special guests. But if you haven't watched Murderville the show on Netflix, highly recommend that. Will Arnett plays a detective, and he's paired with a trainee detective who is a celebrity, and the celebrity has no idea what's going on. They're not given lines ahead of time. They improv everything, where Will Arnett and the rest of the cast have a script and have to move through this murder investigation to where at the end of the episode, the celebrity has to choose who they thought murdered the person.
Yeah, it's so good. Definitely watch the series first, maybe just to kind of get the structure.
Yeah.
Or maybe even just one or two of them. But yeah, I think the Christmas special was probably the best one out of all of them, in my opinion.
Totally.
Nice.
What's your favorite movie of the year?
So I was, again, going through my letterbox to see what I rated the highest. And I don't know. Apparently the thing I rated the highest that at least came out this year was, I'm ashamed to say this even, but it was Top Gun Maverick. I feel like such a basic bitch for that being my top movie of the year. So I have a runner-up too, just because I don't want that to be it. But also, Top Gun Maverick was very fun to watch. So it's fun, whatever.
It's unequivocally a fun movie.
Yeah, right. It's just a good time. It's it's not going to win any Oscars, I don't think, but it was good. Okay, I'm not going to talk more about that because we all know that was like the number one movie of the year. So whatever. Yeah. But then the highest rated thing I saw this year, aside from that, it didn't come out this year, but it's new to me, is a horror movie, a foreign horror movie, which, of course, I've already lost CJ, called Ganjam Haunted Asylum.
Whoa.
And it's this weird, like, found footage, not really found footage, but it's like a live streaming YouTuber kind of style investigation of a haunted asylum in Japan. And they had like set up like fake things to go off in the asylum to, get viewers and things like that. But then things actually start to go wrong. And it's very scary, very cool. And that's right. New to me. Did you already talk about your TV show? Was that the Murderville one?
I don't know. I don't know what to call that because that was sort of like a TV special, I guess, what you would normally categorize it as. So outside of that, my favorite TV show still is Taskmaster.
Somehow I knew it would be. Was there a new season this year?
Yep.
Across multiple countries?
Exactly. So the original, the UK version of Taskmaster continues to be the show that has probably brought me the most joy that I've ever watched. I frequently am like borderline crying laughing at certain tasks. And it's so good. We look forward to it every year. It's something we are like always so sad when the season is over and we have to wait a whole nother year to watch more of it. But in the meantime, an honorable mention is while we're waiting for that new UK version to come out, we flip over to the New Zealand version and still get our fix.
Nice.
Gotta ride that dragon, baby.
God. That's nice, though. You can get more in.
We just finished the latest season of the New Zealand one the other day. And now, again, we're in that sad slump of, oh, man, we got to wait for both of them to come back.
Aww. My favorite TV show of 2022 is a horror show, naturally. It is Chucky Season 2. Believe it or not, it is the TV show Chucky. Have we watched Child's Play or any Chucky movies on the show? I don't think we have.
I don't think so.
I honestly wasn't that big into the movies. I like the first one because it's a classic, and then they get really weird. But man, this TV show is so funny. It is wild. I can't describe how it's more of a comedy, honestly, than horror. I mean, people
Oh,
get
interesting.
murdered, right? But yeah, it's so funny because in the lore of Chucky, Jennifer Tilly is possessed by evil, like Chucky's ex-girlfriend, basically. It's a super complicated, convoluted story in Chucky, but the fact that they play so far into it is hilarious because Jennifer Tilly is playing Jennifer Tilly on the show. And she has like her real life family members come in on the show and get murdered. And she's like watching herself in like Liar Liar on the TV and like quoting herself. And I don't know, the meta-ness of it is wild and hilarious. And that got me really hard. So yeah, if you have any interest in Chucky or have like watched that series of movies, definitely worth watching the TV show because the TV show is probably the best thing out of the entire franchise. And I really hope it gets renewed for season 3, but nothing yet. So fingers crossed on that. I'm sure CJ, you will never watch that, but
You're piqued my interest that it's funny. That is at least interesting to me. I didn't know that.
yeah, it's definitely more like, I mean, you need to be up on like what's happening, right? Like to get the meta-ness of it, but I don't know, it's really good. Very funny if you are in the know, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's it. Well, did you have any other recommendations for the year? Otherwise, we can maybe go on to some of our New Year's resolutions.
Yeah. No other recommendations other than Ken, I implore you to revisit Taskmaster. I know that wasn't your thing, but I'm telling you, it's so funny.
I literally gave it a real shot. I watched several episodes on my own volition, and it was fine. It was fine. I didn't hate it. I thought it was good, but I don't know. I'll throw it on maybe if I'm like really just need something to put on, but I don't think I'm going to be quite as into it as you are.
Worth a shot.
To each their own, though. I'm very happy that this makes you so happy. So
Thanks.
yes. Likewise, CJ, watch all of the Child's Play series and the Chucky TV.
Okay, yeah, I'll go right on that. Yeah.
I think Eric and Carissa watched all of the movies. They might be the prime
That sounds
candidates for this show. Then
Yeah.
I'll have to poke them about that.
Yeah, they were making their way through a lot of horror movies.
I think because of that Corley and Russ podcast, because they were the ones that that went through that franchise as well. It's all full circle here on Overtalking.
Wow.
Look at this. Well, let's get to our New Year's resolutions then. CJ, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Yes, I do. So I'll go into my New Year's resolution by first sort of making an announcement in that I had a goal this year to make a song. And I have made a song, and it is out there on the internet for you to listen to. You can go to Eddie Wolfram, that's Eddie, EDDY, Wolfram, spelled out sounds, .bandcamp.com. The song is called Sleepy Boy because they say to write what you know, so I wrote a song about being tired. I got so much help. Couldn't have done it without Overtalking composer / musical genius, Justin Peters. Truly an incredible musician and all-around great guy. But yeah, so that was sort of my goal for this year, and I did it. So next year, I'm going to
Wait, hold on. I listened to it. It was good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I liked it. We were jamming out to it in the car on our way to Christmas Eve stuff. So, yeah, good job.
Thank you.
That was really good.
I appreciate that.
I just want to go to sleep. We've been singing it to ourselves, too, throughout the week. It's
That's
catchy.
very nice to hear. So yeah, so I think going into next year, I want to make 2 songs.
Okay.
And just all around, yeah, I want to put more stuff out into the world. I want to make more stuff. I want to be more vulnerable and try to tell that self-critic voice to shut the hell up from time to time. And just try to not to judge myself so much and say, hey, I did a thing, here's that thing, and just send it out into the world.
Nice. I still think you should make like a second podcast of like improv stuff. I think you would get a lot of value out of that because you're not in the improv game really much anymore, right?
I have been missing it greatly. I am tempted to sign up for more classes just as an excuse to like do it on a weekly basis. But yeah, I really have been missing it lately and want to get back into that stuff.
That's my resolution for you is to find some way to get back into it, whether it's classes or anything else. But I know that made you really happy.
Yeah, I do miss it a lot. So I'll try to figure something out that isn't too taxing, but that will bring me joy.
Nice. I don't have anything interesting for mine. I've been working out consistently for the past month.
Awesome.
I'm on the Peloton platform, and they have this community called Hardcore on the Floor. I don't know, but they give you like a list of classes to do every day, and I've been doing them consistently every single day for the past month.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, just the fact that it's like ongoing, I think is helping me be consistent with it. So my resolution is to continue that, I guess, into the new year and hopefully not fall off of it because I have a horrible habit of starting, well, anything really, but specifically workout programs and not sticking with it forever, like maybe for a month or two. So I'm hoping this will be the one that'll make it like a consistent all year thing for me.
That's
so we'll
no
see.
small feat to do something every day, to stick to something like that. That is impressive.
Yeah. For me, it's all about the streak. I'm just trying to. There's days where I'm like, I at least have to do one thing. Like I just one 10-minute thing. I'll do it to get the thing, but then at least I'm showing up and I'm doing it. So, but most days I'm doing
good.
like an hour worth of workout. So it's
Hell yeah.
it's been good. Yeah, I'm very excited and happy that this is seeming to stick at least. Tune in next year for if that's true or not. But yeah,
I think most people, myself included, could use that as a reminder of something is better than nothing. Even if you're only gonna, whether it's working out or writing or making something, like sit down and do that thing, or sit down on the bike or lift weights or whatever, and just start it and see how long you can go, even if it is for 10 minutes or whatever. Because usually what happens is once you start it, you're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, a lot of the instructors on that Peloton platform, they're like, yeah, you showed up, you're here. That's like 90% of the battle.
Yeah.
Let's just do this now because you're already here. So yeah, just showing up is a huge thing. So anyway, that's what I learned this year.
Good.
I guess eating healthier too would be good. And then, I've been doing a lot of house projects that we talk about on and off on the show. And I think finishing a project before I start a new one is my resolution, because we have a horrible habit of starting a project and just leaving it for a very long time. So I'm working on wrapping up projects right now.
It's hard to do too, because if they're difficult, you don't want to keep doing the difficult thing. I get that.
Yeah, and you get used to something in your house being not right. Like, we literally had a hole in our floor in our kitchen for close to a year, and that was just a normal thing for us, and we just don't even see it after a while. That is no longer there, luckily. I have now completely covered it up, but God, yeah, I don't know. You just get so used to things, and daunting tasks just become things you just don't want to do ever. So, yeah, finishing a task all the way through before starting something new. That is my New Year's resolution.
Awesome.
Yeah. Is yours to get married next year?
That's on the to-do list for sure. Yep.
Okay. So maybe sending out
married.
those invitations or anything like that. Maybe.
Nope, not there yet.
Okay.
Turns out there's a lot involved with planning a wedding. Who knew?
Yeah. I'm beginning to see that myself.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Also, I just wanted, as we conclude another year of the pod, I wanted to give special thanks to Steve, Lauren Chowan, Meg, Emily, Riley, P.T. Jones, Ryan Haltman, Carissa, Freddie Powers, Emmett O'Reilly, Olivia Cody, Corey Drennan, my brother Eric, Justin Peters, Najabati, Cameron, Julia Sullivan, Matt Elanese, Shelby Weaver, Jim Plackett, Cousin Eric, Zach from the Happy Podcast, Danny from Double Murder Podcast, Caitlin, and Nick. Thank you all so much.
Wow.
We couldn't be doing it without you.
Damn. Was that in any order?
That was in order of appearance of this year.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we started the year with a Fast and Furious episode. So it started off right.
Nice. And now we're all the way through it.
Yeah.
Just sad.
For now.
Yeah, we'll have to just repeat it, I think.
Yeah.
Start at the beginning.
Do you want to just have Revisit Month be all of the FF franchise?
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, speaking of this month, it's this month, right?
Yeah, we're in January right now.
So for the remainder of this month, we will be doing quote-unquote Revisit Month, where we will be covering TV shows and movies that we have done in previous episodes that maybe deserved another look.
We're going to take a look at some pretty early on episodes, probably any episode 1 through 50.
Yep.
We'll go back and revisit.
We know we're at least doing
Shin Godzilla,
something.
right?
Shin Godzilla, that's the one. Yeah, Shin Godzilla. Because I feel like CJ might need to have another look at that one.
Yeah, we'll see.
He didn't like it the first time, so I feel like he might need another go at it. I don't know if that's going to be the next one or not, but we'll be covering that at some point.
So tune in for that. And here's to another year of the pod.
To another year. Cheers. Happy New Year, everyone. And keep on listening. Keep spreading the word.
Keep on listening and be nice to yourself.
CJ, do we have anything we want to plug at the end here?
Go to eddywolfram.bandcamp.com or follow it at eddywolfram on Instagram. All the usual stuff is in the show notes, including that. If you're listening to this, you already know the pod. I would be so surprised if somebody chose this as their first episode to listen to. It'd be a very weird choice, so you know where to find us already.
You know what? We did actually get one text message.
Totally forgot about that.
It happens so often that, it just kind of slips our mind. But yeah, we definitely got one real text message. CJ, do you have it up? Do you want to read it?
Yes. The text reads, to CJ and Ken. Thank you for choosing me first. My favorite bit happened on the Violent Night episode. I've been listening for years and felt the need to express this. At the end, when we get a ho 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 again, bitches, I couldn't help but go back and listen to it again. Thanks for all of your hard work and great shows. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And since they didn't sign it with anything, we're just going to call this person Keith. Thank you, Keith, for texting us that. Really appreciate it. That's very nice of you.
Thanks, Keith, for listening so long. And yeah, if you've been listening for a long time and maybe haven't, let us know. We cannot express how nice accessible it is to actually hear. How accessible it is for us to reach us, but also like how nice it is to hear from you. Like, please let us know that you're listening and enjoying it, because that is very validating for us. So please,
that we're not just putting this out into the void.
You know what? It kind of feels like that sometimes. So please let us know. Thank you. And thanks, Keith.
Thank you, Keith. I did actually just get another text today.
Oh, shit. Is this real?
This is real.
Okay.
By the way, I listened to the last pod eps while tidying around the apartment. You guys are so good. That was very nice of you.
Who said that?
Yeah. Our friend Mary.
Oh, nice.
Friend of the show, who I didn't realize until today we haven't had on for an entire year, and that feels like a crime. We're going to have her on soon.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you for listening.
I think I already said it, but if you like the show, please tell a friend and spread the word. We really appreciate it. Or call out or text us or leave a review, and maybe we should check those at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe people are validating us, and we just haven't looked at the iTunes reviews in a while.
Yeah. We haven't looked at the Apple Podcasts review.
That's right. My bad. God damn. See, I never go on there. That's why I don't know. Maybe if I went on Apple Podcasts more often, I would know.
I know. I personally don't use that crappy app.
I don't either. I'm a true diehard Apple fan, but I don't use that app either. Listen, hey, here's a recommendation for 2023. Check out Pocket Casts. That's my favorite podcast player. Okay.
I'm a Pocket Cast Plus member.
Same.
I like it so much.
You can organize the way you listen to things. There's an up next queue that you can easily add to if you just have a normal stream of podcasts you play. It's the most customizable and accessible one. It's worth the subscription as well. So yeah, check that out.
Hard agree.
You can also see our actual album artwork in there. Sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
But if you also, here's a tip. Wow, sorry, we're trying to wrap up the show, but here's a tip for people who are still listening for some reason. If you download our episodes, we sometimes put custom artwork for the episode in it. So if you're streaming it, you might not see. You might just see the normal yellow background. But, for all of Christmas month, we had a nice green one with us with Santa hats and fun stuff like that. So, download it and you get to see all the fun stuff. That's all.
Also, downloads, I think, count more for the show. They're better,
so just do that
I think.
anyway. Yeah.
They help. So, download them.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Happy New Year, Overtalkers. Thanks for listening. This episode of the Overtalking Podcast was produced by Ken and CJ, edited by CJ. Music by Justin Peters, logo by Nate Richards. Check out Nate's work on Instagram at Nate Richards Designs.